Check out
Darksydephil the Lolcow
in Phil of the Future next.
Yeah. Derek, good luck on your driving test tomorrow.
In Life with Derek. We'll see how the week goes, all right? But hey, the more you support, the sooner we hit the goals. The sooner we hit 100 goals, we'll be ordering food from Claim Jumper. So this person who lied about this last week, because last week they said if I did something, they would tip me $50, and then they didn't. They lied. They tipped another $1. And they said, I'll give you $50 if you give your take on what humanity would be like if people pooped out of their nipples instead of their ass. How would society be different? Now, here's the thing. If I actually answer the question and you don't tip $50, I'm just never going to read your messages ever again, nor acknowledge your contributions ever. So now you better be ready to tip $50, all right? So what would happen is, basically the way that we defecate would be completely different, which means toilet bowls would be different. Instead of a toilet being something you sit on to go to the bathroom, it would have to be something that you lean forward into, but it would also have to be private. So basically they would have to completely redesign toilets so that it's like a porcelain thing you lean in to defecate into. And also the way that you clean up would be completely different. Like maybe you wouldn't even have toilet paper. Maybe it would be different to clean your chest up. But then again, that would be pretty disgusting. Perhaps, you know, people wouldn't be so attracted to women's racks because then they'd be like poop on them. Then again, people are attracted to asses right now. So probably not. I have no idea. It's a stupid question. But thanks for the $1 tip. And now I'm expecting a $50 contribution following up, because if I don't get it, I'm not kidding. I'm never reading or acknowledging any of your contributions ever again in history. Like, never will I do that. So we better see that $50 coming. All right. All righty then. Good stuff. Now, where do we want to begin today? Oh, so we got our first super chat of the day? No, we didn't. We have no super chat. Let's get our first super chat of the day. Let's get our first gifted sub over on Kick for the week, right? And for the month. Technically, if you gift a sub right now over on Kick, you're the first contributor on Kick for the whole month. Think about that. I know you want to be recognized as the first contributor for the month, right? So let's go. Let's get that going. That way we'll have one of everything, because we have, we already have one membership and we already have some smaller tips. Let's get our first sub of the month and let's get our first super chat of the month, shall we? Who's going to be the first super chatter of August? Let's find out. Okay. All right. Tag me in the chat, whether you're on Kick or you're on YouTube. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Let's get some support rallying. So Ludo today, and then tonight on the late stream, GTA 4 with mods continues here on, DSP Gaming, and if it does well tonight and we hit a support goal, I will bring it back to a day stream later in the week, and we'll see how it does as a day stream again. Okay? Games. You know, the era of the 80s and 90s, and even to some extent the 2000s or early 2010s, were more of the early developmental fundamental years where games were meant as works of art and or fun, addictive gaming experiences. After a while, somewhere there in the 2010s, corporations got their hooks into it and said, well, now games must be products to be mass produced, pumped out, and to become a revenue stream for us, these corporate bigwigs in charge of the companies, but also the shareholders. That is probably the dumbest thing you could ever do, because an artistic medium needs to be just that, artistically driven. It has to have a meaning behind it, whether it conveys an emotion or an idea or something meaningful. When you do something that's art, you should have some kind of a feeling or a movement or something, not, oh, look, here's something someone made to make money. What the difference between going to a restaurant where a chef pumps out a meal where they want you to have an experience versus you went to McDonald's and you bought the Big Mac? Do you think there's a difference there? Here's the problem. When you go to the gourmet restaurant to get the 5-star meal, you probably pay a few $100s. When you go to McDonald's, you probably pay $8 to $10 for the Big Mac. I know that sounds ridiculous, but they actually do charge that for a Big Mac now. But you see, there's a discrepancy in price. Now take a look at video games. Is there a discrepancy in price? Every game is turning out to be $70, $80 now. So there's no pricing difference. It would be one thing if you paid $80 for the gourmet meal game that's amazing and a memorable experience, and then you only paid $20 for the cheap piece of crap that's just a cash-in experience. But that's not the case. all games are expensive, yet they're all crap. Do you see the difference? That's the problem now with modern games. They're charging more for the thing that's the cash in and meant only to print money, and it has no inspiration, no artistic value whatsoever. It's play it for a minute, you're done, on to the next, or, oh, get hooked by an addictive gameplay loop. But what's the point? Why am I doing this? To get addicted to the gameplay loop so you keep spending money. Not because it's amazing, it's groundbreaking, it's changing my life, I'm getting meaning out of this, it's memorable and fun and artistic. No, it's grind, 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 grind. Keep inserting money to grind more. So, yeah, games have changed a lot in the last 10 to 15 years that I've been a YouTuber. That's for damn sure. All you got to do is take a look at some of the playthroughs that I did early on versus some of these playthroughs that we do now of modern games, and you just shake your head. I can't even play the modern games. I just quit them. Can you imagine if I suffered through all of Assassin's Creed Shadows? That would have been like 50 wasted hours of my life that I could never get back. And it's the same company that pumped out the original Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy and Assassin's Creed Black Flag, these amazing experiences. And now they're literally just dumping turds into a game box and saying, here you go, $80. It's sad. It's embarrassing. You know, it really is. Someone threw the $1.50 and says, do you think streamers are part of the problem? They see games as revenue streams and artificially inflate the worth of a game. Have you ever caught yourself seeing games as a revenue stream and less as art to be scrutinized? No, and here's why, because I don't think that I'm influential enough to do anything like that, right? Now, to some extent, perhaps big streamers, this is the case. You know, you got guys out there that they're literally handed a game and said, hey, play our game, and we're actually going to pay you to play it. This is actually a promotional opportunity for you. Here it is. Make a series of videos or streams of our game. Just play it. And because these people have such giant exposure, right? They have such an audience that watch them, that literally just the fact that they played the game could sell hundreds to thousands of copies of said game. And the funny part is they may never play the game again. They could play it once and drop it, and it will still do that because they have such an insane audience of people who are obsessed with them and follow their every move and think that everything they do is amazing and they got to do it too. I don't think anyone's doing that with me. I think with me, you understand that my game streams are chill sessions. We hang out. We enjoy the game together. We enjoy each other's company. I tell you honestly what I think about the game, and you could have whatever opinion you want of that. A lot of people take my opinions and say, okay, this is a judgment of whether I'll like it and I'll get it. And others are like, oh, I don't believe anything Phil says anyway. You know, so it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Honestly, what I really say about a game. I am not an influential person, right? What is my take on YouTube requiring ID to watch starting August 13th? So there is this thing going on from what I'm to understand. This is all based on the UK. This is all based on the United Kingdom. That apparently in the United Kingdom, they've passed a law, and this law they're claiming is supposed to like protect minors or something. But what's ended up happening is that this law has had big sweeping reach across the globe, where a lot of websites now are like, well, we have to do age verification. There's nothing we can do. The law is telling us that if we want to have you have access to this particular website, we have to have age verification. And apparently it's like every site. So any social media site whatsoever, any video uploading site, any streaming site, what they're going to do is they have to verify that you're an adult to watch the adult content. If not, I guess somehow they could be liable. Now, here's my question. How? Because here in the United States, we have a law, and that law protects websites and businesses from that. For example, right now, I guarantee you there's illegal content on YouTube right now. Videos of people being hurt, maimed, and injured, killed even, right? Illegal videos that shouldn't be on the site. But the reason that YouTube does not get into trouble for it in the United States is because there's this law that says they're protected from it. They are required to have a means to have illegal content removed. That is part of the law, but they can't be held accountable for someone just mass uploading content to the site. Okay? That is why there is so much illegal content on a place like YouTube, stuff that's copyright infringing, stuff that's actually defamatory. There's no law that says they have to review any content before it goes live. The only thing they have to do is, if given enough notice, legal notice, they have to take it down. Okay? So that's how it's always been up to now. Now, the question is, how did things change because of this UK law? I guess this UK law is now saying that they are accountable and that they have to do age verification, that if a minor has access to content that should be rendered adults only, that the business cannot be sued. And therefore now, like, every single website needs to have an age verification tool. I guess what they're saying is, on YouTube, they're going to run an AI algorithm to try to determine your age. And if the AI algorithm thinks that you're under 18, YouTube is going to require you to actually prove your age. Okay? Now, we all know how well YouTube's AI algorithms work. I mean, they're absolutely foolproof and they never misidentify any content or anything, right? Never. Oh, no. Totally not. A million cases of it not working, right? I'm not concerned. Why? Well, my analytics outright tell me the vast majority of my viewers are adults. It's very, very small amount of my viewers are under the age of 18. Also, my content is not flagged as adults only because it's not. I'm not here talking about strong sexual content. I'm not here talking about, this kind of stuff that would be flagged as, adults only. So I'm not worried about it. Everyone who watches my stuff is an adult. I don't think that all of a sudden overnight, half of the people who watch me are going to be identified as children on YouTube and now they have to upload their IDs and shit. I don't think that's going to happen. All right. So for me, it's not a concern. But for these YouTubers and content creators who literally have a child audience, Mr. Beast, who literally the vast majority of his viewers are children, or any of these Fortnite YouTubers who all of the people who watch their content are children, they might be in trouble. Adults don't watch that shit. Adults aren't watching that crap. All of these big influencers who have, but they have billions of viewers. Yeah, children. Children whose parents don't do a good job of parenting and let them do whatever they want on the internet, and they watch these clowns act like idiots and or be completely disingenuous, Pied Pipers of kids, leading them down off a cliff. It's sad, but that's what's happened with the biggest content creators, right? People saw guys like PewDiePie and Markiplier and the kind of influence they had on kids, and they said, how can I take what they've done and perfect it? How can I turn it into a money-making deal, right? How can I get the mass amount of viewers so that I can just bank on this shit? And now you've got entire channels based on stunts, pranks, contests, this garbage content. And they have millions of subs and millions of viewers, and they make insane amounts of money. They're millionaires based on this garbage content that basically preys upon children. And they learned that by seeing how guys like PewDiePie and Markiplier and stuff stumbled into it inadvertently, but they did it intentionally. So as hard as, at one point, I really ragged on PewDiePie. And I was like, man, what an asshole, because what he's saying and doing is hurting all content creators. Now I go back and I look at that and I'm like, that probably wasn't fair. At the same time, the guy, again, is so ridiculously affluent. It doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, you were mean to him, so now his life is ruined. No, you were mean to him and he's filthy rich for the rest of his life and he doesn't care, right? But now you've got a whole new generation of these people who are preying on the young. And sadly, we have another generation of parents who aren't parenting their kids and just letting them do whatever they want on the internet. They're not warning them against these predatory actions of these content creators. And so now this stuff is happening. And now, now a law passes. Well, now we have to make sure that kids are protected from this stuff. So now everything has to change. It ain't going to change my audience. You guys are all adults. There's not a single child watching me. If you are, you should tune out immediately. You're going to be bored to tears. This is not a stream for a child to watch, that's for sure, right? Diamond says, Phil, it's not if you're a kid. Adults will have to verify their age, and that's the problem. I don't think it's a problem. Right now, if YouTube said, we want you to prove your identity, you know, give us this information so that you can continue to use the site, I would say, okay, I don't care. What do I care? Well, okay, let me ask if people want to have this discussion, because I'm not understanding it. What is the problem with this? What information is being asked for? Why do you think this is an issue? What exactly is the issue here? Trolls care. Well, of course trolls care, because trolls don't want to be held accountable. Trolls want to be anonymous. Normal people don't care. That information can be stolen by third parties. That's absolutely correct. 100%, that's correct. So, for example, if YouTube is going to say, we require you to send us a picture of your ID to prove who you are, and you're required to do that, they should be legally accountable to keep your information private and protected. And if ever there's a leak, you should be able to sue them for a ridiculous amount of money so that they have to pay you for your identity being stolen or leaked. It's hilarious because I'm reading stuff. It's some of the most unhinged, weird, radical things I've ever heard. Someone just said, oh, you'll send YouTube your information, but you didn't want to get a real ID driver's license. What? What? I didn't want to get a real ID driver's license. Where do you get your insane conspiracy theories from? Really? Like, what crazy fucking Kool-Aid do you drink? Where did that even come from? You're insane. Who even knows where that narrative came from? But they'll believe it. If you don't know what a real ID driver's license is that in the United States, it just changed this year. If you want to fly anywhere, you need to have a higher level of identity verification. It can't just be a driver's license anymore. It used to be able to. Now they make you verify more information. But that's what it is. I don't know what the hell someone is actually saying. I didn't want to get a real ID. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Oh my God. There's no other question here. Like, I don't think the issue is that you have to prove who you are, because normal people who use things normally don't care. You want to know who cares? These fucking people who fuck with people online. People who know what they're doing is both morally and in some cases legally wrong, and they don't want to have their real life identity attached to their behavior online. If you literally run an entire YouTube channel based on defaming someone, you don't want to have a chance that your real information is there and someone could find it out, and then they put it on the internet, and the next thing you know, you're facing repercussions for your heinous actions. That's what it is. That's really the problem. It's not, oh, the common person doesn't give a fuck. The common person literally puts all of their information on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram right now. The common person is too dense and dumb and ignorant to realize that putting their information on the internet is a huge liability that can lead to systematic harassment that could mess with your life. They don't get that, because the common person usually isn't affected by that stuff, right? So they don't care. They already have all their information everywhere, and they give it away 20 times a day. So that's not the issue. The issue is with people who are so afraid that their information is now going to make them accountable for shit that they're doing on the internet. All right. So, guys, we have a little bit of extra time. We have a little bit more discussion. Please tag me in the chat. Now, it would be great to get some more support, guys. We're now nearing the end of the podcast, and we only got $20 of support. And the last time this happened was last Sunday when I came back from break and we played Ludo. And do you remember what happened? We didn't hit the goal when we played Ludo because we basically had a really slow podcast. So let's get some better support right now. Let's get another super chat. Let's get a tip more than $2. All right. Let's get our first gifted sub of the month. Let's do that right now. Let's get someone to gift a sub. Okay. We do have a super supporter member here with thank you so much to that. Well, let's get some more support. Let's, at the very least, let's get to $50 by the end of the show. So that way we have at least a good head start as we're heading into Ludo, okay? How do I stay resilient when it comes to trolling? I pay no attention to it. I don't care. I don't care about any of it. I'm doing my own thing here. I have zero thoughts in my head about trolling today. I was like, oh, this is great. We're coming back. Fresh new month. Great new setup. Let's talk about the streams. Let's talk about the marathon and my ideas. Let's talk about the new DSP tries it. Let's talk about this Bioshock thing. I'm not thinking about trolls. You guys are, because you keep trying to bring it up. I don't care about them. Fuck do I care? There is no super chat. The only super chats that I received are and someone who got banned for being a troll. That's it. There's no other super chats. That's false. You can see super chats publicly, so there's no way that someone could say they sent one and didn't come through. That's, you know, it's a completely lie, or it's a technical issue on YouTube's side, in which case I'm also not involved. No, Kick, to my knowledge, Kick has not fixed the channel point stuff, so sadly, no highlighted messages. Not until they fix it. I can't, you guys have to understand I'm operating a business. I have to be professional. I can't be held accountable for the way that people act in a chat or whatever. So I have to be able to moderate. I cannot have people doing these highlighted messages that have the N-word in them, that have people's personal doxing information in them. I can't do it. So because of that, we can't use those messages until the issue is fixed. All right. It would be great to get some more support. We're around $30 of support. Obviously, the goal is 150 as always. We're trying to hit the goal so that we can do DSP tries it claim jumper, which would be great if we could do it. So please support the stream if you have not. Let's get some going. Right now, we have no subs on Kick. It would be great to get our first sub on Kick and more. So thank you, guys. I'll see you in a few. In the meantime, enjoy some highlight clips, shall we? All right, guys. Thanks. And I'll see you in a little bit.
Hey, don't go away. Life with Derek is next.
Then I can't like unfuck her sister. And sister.
So, but why is it in my forum? It has nothing to do with it.